We are at the beginning of Bitcoin, and it's amazing to be building on it because everything remains to be done.
Hey folks, Flo here in Montreal at the Canadian Blockchain Consortium's first ever event, Bitcoin mining in Quebec. I'm here with Romain Nouzareth of SATO Technologies. Why don't you introduce yourself quickly and tell us what SATO does?
Sure, thank you, Florent. Very nice meeting you. My name is Romain. I'm originally from France. I've been mining Bitcoin since 2017. Today, I run SATO Technologies. We are a publicly listed company on the TSXV and on the OTC in the US. Ticker SATO for Satoshi Nakamoto. We run 20 megawatts of energy in Joliette, in Quebec. It's around close to 0.6 exahash of mining power, which is close to 0.2% of the total network of Bitcoin. And it's an amazing adventure. We are here because we want to develop more energy. Quebec has enormous advantage from its position in the world, from the energy that it has, with the climate that is here happening in Quebec, and we want to grow to the maximum.
So I want to ask you some quick-fired questions in 10-20 seconds. What is Bitcoin?
Bitcoin, if you look at the original white paper published by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2008, it's a peer-to-peer payment system. Today, it's a lot of things. First of all, it's a store of value. I know I have only 15 seconds, but I'm going to go quickly. But it's a store of value. The store of value is that it's a contender to gold. We live in a digital world. We live at TikTok time. Of course, our money and our financial system is going digital. And also to store value, Bitcoin is perfect because of Bitcoin miners. We are securing Bitcoin every 10 minutes. We inscribe in the block of the blockchain, hence the name, all of the transactions. We are a big ledger of all of the transactions. It is essential, and we do it with lots of efficiencies.
What do you tell people who say, why do we need this? Doesn't the current financial system work fine? The energy grid, especially here, seems to be pretty solid, minus a few shortcuts here and there. Why do we need Bitcoin and crypto more broadly?
Well, if you're in Quebec, it's debatable. For a store of value, I think it's a great store of value. It's better than gold everywhere in the world.
Better than the Canadian dollar?
Better than the Canadian dollar. Now, if you are posting yourself in another part of the world, in developing countries, where you have lots of inflation, where it's difficult to have access to bank accounts, Bitcoin is an extremely performant solution. It's fast, it's simple, it's secured, it uses almost no energy. It's energy that is at 56%, it's renewable. We use a very, very amount of energy in the world. 0.2% of the energy of the world is used for Bitcoin mining. The beauty of Bitcoin, to come back to your question, what is Bitcoin? The real beauty of Bitcoin is the fact that it can settle transactions every 10 minutes. It's better than Visa, it's better than Citibank.
Can you explain that? So Visa, people have the impression that they pay with a card and it's instantaneous, isn't it so?
It is instantaneous in the sense that it's a central database. Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer network, it's decentralized. And when you decentralize, you have no point of failure, but you have also no point of control. When Visa or MasterCard talks about transaction per second, TPS, they are basically writing something into a database somewhere, and they need to replicate this database everywhere in the world to make sure that it's not lost, that it can be accessible. They need to have employees on 6 continents in the world to manage the data that they have. It's extremely performant. I love Visa. What they've built is really amazing. I mean, you go to a store, you pay with your coffee, it's instant, you tap and bam, done. Perfect. In some parts of the world, Bitcoin is way more performant, but it's going to come to the second usage of what is Bitcoin. First, store of value, but the second usage of Bitcoin, because of the fact that we can settle every 10 minutes, the second usage is for international transaction, sending a value abroad.
Some people are saying that Bitcoin is the first truly global digital form of money, right?
It's a settlement. It's a 10-minute settlement that we do with Bitcoin miner.
Final settlement.
The final settlement. What is done is done. And in fact, if you look at the numbers, in 2022, Bitcoin made more volume than Visa and MasterCard. So there was more money that was exchanged over the year on the Bitcoin network in volume, not in transactions, than Visa. I think 30% more than Visa and 3 times more than MasterCard.
That's incredible.
So
Those are incredible statistics. This is perfect. You're telling me we're getting there, and I wanted to ask you finally, where are we in the life cycle of Bitcoin right now?
The beginning. We are at
What
the
does that
start of
mean?
it. Well, it started in 2009 to be run by probably Satoshi Nakamoto himself and a few other people after a few blocks. The principle and the reason why we can exist with Bitcoin miners is that we get a reward every time a block is inscribed on the blockchain. That's how we make money. It's part of the design. This is the beauty of the design. Satoshi Nakamoto thought about doing a solution that would give money to people who would run the network. That's what we do. But the cycle, and because Bitcoin has been designed also to another part where it's beautiful, it's deflationary, it's anti-inflation. There is only a certain number of Bitcoins that are created every, in total, 21 million. But there is also a principle called halving, where every 4 years we produce less Bitcoin. So the rewards that we make are divided by 2 every 4 years.
And that's coming up around April next year.
It's coming soon. It's coming soon. But this is really beautiful because this mechanism makes it so that it's a real store of value for a long term and something that you can count on for your settlement. And that's why if you want to send transaction abroad, you don't want to relate to a traditional bank because they will need to work with intermediary A, B, C, D.
I have to go to my bank to do an international transfer.
It's crazy. This is a second usage, and this is where we will go over the valuation of Bitcoin, of the gold. First usage, store of value, we are $500 billion valuation. Gold is 10 trillion, even more now, I think like maybe $12 trillion valuation. If Bitcoin becomes a store of value, this is the kind of valuation we could see for Bitcoin. Right. Second usage, international transaction, and it's really becoming a settlement mechanism. It's great. This way, I think the valuation of Bitcoin can go higher. And I think, and I'm not the only one saying these theories, but the third usage is where it's going to really become the original idea, which is a peer-to-peer currency for people to really exchange based on L2s or different kind of networks that are working in connection with Bitcoin, mainly the Lightning Network, Liquid. We have new solutions that are built on top of Bitcoin, but because they are associated to Bitcoin and the value of Bitcoin, it has a real impact. When you use it right, because you use it with Bitcoin. And this is the third usage of Bitcoin, and if we reach that, I think it's going to go very far. But to come back to your initial question, where are we at the stage? We are at the very beginning, because this halving that happens every 4 years, it means that at some point there will be no Bitcoin to mine anymore. And that's planned for 2142. So we still have 100 years before us, in front of us. We have time. We are at the beginning of Bitcoin, and it's amazing to be building on it because everything remains to be done.
Thank you very much, Romain. Pleasure speaking with you.
Merci.